This how you finesse. We come for they necks. We come to collect. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home, yeah. Now they calling my phone, yeah. But I'm all in my zone. They not a threat. Tell them reset. When they at they best, we still not impressed. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home, yeah. Bought a watch with the stones, yeah. Caught them watching my throne, yeah. Ain't no one doing the shit that we doing. Ain't nobody moving the way that we moving. Hop out the Sprinter and shoot us a movie. We pull up to Paxton and get us some jewelry. Rocking the newest, but that shit ain't new to me. Watch how I do it, you think that it's two of me. They just be fluffing and that shit is foolery. Coolin', but that shit ain't cool to me. I'm as hot as it gets, yeah, they not on the list. Shot of success, hit nothing but net. Yeah.
Laying down here, looking at my car. Look at that. The heat wrap coming off the downpipe. I gotta fix that soon enough. So we're under the yellow car. And don't worry about there not being the jack stand there. There's about to be in a second. If you're watching the video and you're planning on doing something like this yourself, make sure you have a jack stand under the car. Don't be like me. But yeah, so we're draining this oil out again. And the reason for that is because we got everything done on this yellow car, as you guys saw in the last video. And then for whatever reason, we lost oil pressure. So I'm gonna insert a clip here showing you the results of when I installed just a temporary oil pressure sensor just to test it. All right, so here's the bad news. The bad news is this is a cold start. So with the oil being cold, that should have shot up all the way to like 70 to 80.
Moving through the line.
Yeah, that should have shot up to like 70 to 80. So like I just took this gauge out of my car, and you know, every time I turn on my car, it goes up to like 70 or 80 when it's cold. You can see right now, see the temperature completely cold, like on the seat.
And you can see air going through the line.
And yeah, so that's why we're now gonna change the oil pump on this thing. So stay tuned. All right, by now y'all should know the drill. Power steering pump gotta come off. Loosen these two bolts. You don't gotta take them out, just loosen them. They're size 12s, and then you undo the butterfly bolt here. And once that drops all the way down, you'll be able to just slide the belt right over and off like that. And you can pull it out from the bottom off the crank pulley. Like so. Hopefully we remember what belt's what. Matter of fact, I'm gonna record it in this video. So the 915 is gonna be the power steering. All right, next part. I've got the power steering pump locked up at the top there with that bolt. You're probably better off just taking it off and sliding it to the side, but I'm stubborn, so I do my own way. Got the D12 there. I'm gonna unlock that nut for the AC compressor tensioner. Then it's got a 7 on it to adjust it and loosen it. You can take the belt off. You'll see the tensioner move there. And once you get it in tight, you should be able to just stick your hand down here and loosen it up. Tensioner will drop down. It's that pulley that I got in the center there. See it sliding right off on its own. Now you should be able to just reach down there and same thing. Go to the bottom, pull it up. Keep in mind, if you still got your torque mounts on, I forgot this car does. If you still got your torque mounts in place, the AC belt will not come off unless you take that torque mount off. But for what we need, we can just leave it hanging on the torque mount right there. Now you guys can actually see. When I went to go buy the wheels for that yesterday, I did go buy a wrench to see if I can take that off without having to take these headers. If I have to take these headers off to get to that, it's gonna suck. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. All right, welcome back, guys. It's been a few days now. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but it's just because I've had so much going on, especially with that car over there. Oh, hold on, I got a call coming in. So like I was saying, yeah, a lot's been going on with that car over there. But yeah, now that we're back, so I had to stop the other night because this oil pump is a Mizuno Auto oil pump. It's supposed to be like a cheaper alternative to like the ACL, basically. It's a high pressure pump. So if you notice, I guess the one that I got, so this car normally comes with this sprocket because this is a 97 or 98, I believe. Might be even newer than that. Could be a 99. I don't remember the exact year. Regardless, 96 and up, they all have crank sensors that go right here. And basically what I'm seeing is that the little teeth to trigger the crank sensor, they don't fit. Now, typically when you get one of these pumps, like OE style pumps, I'm not 100% sure. Somebody can comment and remind me if these fit anyways, because I'm pretty sure that these fit anyways. But now that I think about it, usually what ends up happening is I usually end up breaking these because they're super solid, but they're on the newer pumps, and then I bypass the crank sensor inside. These vehicles do have a crank sensor inside of the distributor. If you do your research, you'll see that there's like CYP for crank position, and then there's some other type of crank position. This one right here is not really needed. None of the JDM motors use this one. Really the only one that you need is the one that's up top in the Dizzy. So there's a way to bypass this in the ECM. We're not going to be putting the crank sensor back on here. So this wire right here, here's the crank sensor. With that being said, this cable is going to get cut up at the top, and I'm going to do it very cleanly so it looks like it was never there to begin with. And then this is going to get swapped out. Let me show you. All right, so I've got my little keyway right there. And then what we're going to be using is, so these, yeah, that's what I figured. These sometimes have a keyway built in. This is a non-crank sensor pulley. So, or sprocket, I mean. So this is basically just gonna sit right in here. All right, we're all timed up. It's a little bit of a pain, but got the sprocket down there with the without the timing gears for the crank thingy majigger. And then now we're gonna put the cover on. This cover's a little scuffed up. That's why I know, honestly, like, don't even really put these things on there, because that crank pulley just starts chewing them up like that over time with the heat, I guess. They just kind of tend to warp and, I don't know, just act all weird. And they usually get chewed up like that. But personally, like, on my car, I don't really run this cover because it just makes it a lot easier to access when I have to do, like, maintenance stuff. Like, for example, if this cover wasn't on here, this oil pump would have been much easier. I'm pretty sure you guys saw in the last video, well, 2 videos ago, when we did my buddy's car with the Acura Integra. We were trying to do that rod knock stuff. It took me and my boy Matt Blue, like, I don't know what, like 15-20 minutes to get to that oil pump. So I mean, granted, we were already in there, but regardless of the fact, like, to take off the oil pan and then just unbolt the pickup tube and the oil pump, it doesn't take that long. But in this case, because this thing's like fully OEM, which is nothing wrong with that, it's just, you know, we use our cars for a lot of we take our cars to Mexico a lot, and things tend to happen, and it's just nice to be able to get right into it right then and there and get it fixed. But so I'm gonna throw this thing on, and then once I throw this thing on, I can put the crank pulley on, and I can start putting the accessory belts back on, like the alternator, power steering, compressor, and stuff like that. And then after that, it should just be just the upper cover. The engine mount will be like dead last on the side, and then the very last thing will be the valve cover and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's right, I gotta put the freaking headers back on. That's gonna be fun. So we'll see. I'm gonna shoot for trying to get this thing completely done tonight, but if I get everything done except for those headers, I've made good progress. So we'll see how it goes. Yo, I was not aware that Elon or anybody was launching anything tonight. But look at that afterburn on this thing.
That's fire.
That's insane. Oh.
Gonna do another stage?
Yep.
On, let's get it. Oh, went out.
Hold up. Alright guys, so this is where we're at. It is Saturday morning. I've got the gauge hooked up here. Basically the gauge out of my car, just to see what kind of pressure we got. But everything's basically put back together, everything's bolted up. The only thing I have to do now, because we're going to be getting rid of this guy, which I guess is a good thing we're getting rid of it, because look, they already had to resplice it before, and it's a really unnecessary issue to have, because like I said, in Japan they don't even use these things. There's a way to bypass them at the ECU, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to bypass it inside, and the car will never need one of these sensors ever again. And in case I hadn't mentioned it before, you don't know why we're doing that, it is because the new oil pump that we put on here does not have the provisions to be able to bolt the crank sensor to it, because it is an aftermarket oil pump, and regardless, it's unnecessary. So I'm gonna take you guys inside and show you guys how I do that now. All right, so now that we've gotten inside the vehicle here, you go into this corner, there's 4 bolts holding this computer, you take it out. This guy right here just unclips from these green things, and that's it. Where we're gonna be messing around is gonna be with these clips right here. If you look up on if you Google online and you type in Integra crank sensor bypass, you'll get a few hits. There's a few different write-ups. The one that I use, I believe that it's on ffsquad.net or something like that, and they actually give you a full detailed write-up with pictures and everything. But you just have to make sure that you read carefully, and you make sure that you do the one for your car specifically. They'll say like the years, like OBD1, OBD2, Integra, Civic, whatever. Pay very close attention to that, because you don't want to accidentally cut and splice 2 of the wrong wires just because you didn't pay attention and did it to different years. So I'm gonna go ahead and push forward on this and get this bypass done. I'm gonna try to walk you through, guys, through as much as possible. Every single time I do this, I always look at the write-up just to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. So let me take a look at the write-up and kind of refresh my mind, and we'll get started. All right, so all the work you're gonna do, all the work you're gonna do is gonna be in the C-plug. So the first thing that you gotta splice together is C1 and C4, which if you're in an OBD2A car, that's gonna be these guys right here. It might be the same on the OBD2B, but like I said, just double check, make sure that when you're doing this based off the write-up, that you look at the little notes and specifications of which wiring system it is that you're doing the splices for. So if I can get this freaking yellow wire here. So we're gonna splice these 2 together, and it's a lot easier to do with the plug unplugged from the ECU. So what I'm gonna do, grab these 2 wires here. And I'm gonna quick splice those. So make sure you cut C1. You can depaint it or do whatever you want to do. I like to cut it like that just in case for whatever reason it has to get hooked up in the future, even though they never really will. And then after a quick tug test, we are good. So that one is done. All right, so next part, C11 and C14. Again, we're working on an OBD-A car. If you're working on an OBD2 car, make sure you go to the FF Squad write-up and double check your pin locations. In this case, C11, which is the ground for the crank right here, it's a white wire with a red stripe, and then C14, which is a solid white wire. Went ahead and cut that one, and then we're gonna grab our solid white here and quick splice those 2 together. Once again, our quick splice is in. Tug test, we're good. All right, so we got power to the thing. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna pull the ECU fuse out right quick, and that should allow us to go ahead and crank the car over. It's gonna be this top left one up here. It's gonna allow us to crank the car over and get some oil going through that new pump. Just kind of prime the new system. And we can check for pressure without turning on the car as well. There we go, fuses out. So that's what we're gonna see. Not that zero pressure crap that we were seeing last time. But now, I don't know what the hell that noise is. I gotta figure out what that noise is. But at least we got pressure, so that's good. All right, cut it off. So for anybody that's curious, that's what that noise was. Top that off, let her run, let her burn off some of the smoke and oil and crap that got everywhere, and then we'll see what the idle's looking like on warm. Hello and welcome back, everybody. It has been a very long time since I've taken the time to record myself like this. Been a very busy year, very busy year. I've been out and about doing all types of things life related, some car related things, but for the most part just a lot of life related stuff. Been out and about, you know, trying to live life. And I've also been very busy just working on myself, trying to get my life together, and a lot of other things. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That video was actually filmed almost a year ago, if you can't tell by the Christmas lights. It was filmed right alongside with the rest of the videos of that yellow car. I just got done working on that car recently. I replaced all the brake lines because the brake lines and the fuel lines rusted out. I ended up doing everything in braid. I didn't record that because I don't really plan on having that car on the channel too much more, since I'm probably not going to be working on it much more. So we're back at the shop. That is old footage. I have one more video that I want to put out. It's about a new project that I came up on probably around the same time, probably about a year ago, just about a year ago. And it's a super cool project. It's something different. It's just something new. I wouldn't say that it's something that I wouldn't choose to mess with. It's just, I'll go into details when it's time to introduce that project. But for now, yeah, we went ahead and finished this car. The oil pump and everything is good. It's got a rebuilt motor. Everything is good with the car. And yeah, so the owner has the car. He's very happy. I don't think there's much else that has to get touched on that car. And yeah, so with that being said, what I have been doing is, and the reason I'm here, I wanted to film here, was because well, first of all, this shop was really bad. So it still looks bad to some. There's still stuff everywhere, but the fact that I have this open space to be able to pace back and forth like I'm doing right now, that's big, because the shop is usually never like that. Usually what ends up happening is I'm usually working on a project elsewhere, and then I gotta come in here, look for stuff, and all this stuff that's on the walls and stuff just ends up on the floor. So I can find what I need, and then I leave, and I'm like, oh, I'll clean it later, and then I hate myself. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. Oh God, let me not break the sensor because John needs that. But yeah, so we're back at the shop, cleaned up a bunch of stuff, moved a bunch of stuff, got things out of the way. There's things in here that still need to get worked on. If you saw the video of my tore down B20, the one that I broke the ring lands and cracked 4 sleeves on, that would be her right there. There's a story with that block. That's a GSR block. There's a story with that. I'll fill you guys in on that. There's that LS that I never got around to. I will be getting around to it eventually though. Then we have all these other blocks over here. These are all cores and stuff like that. I have another block here. This one has stripped out bolt holes, but all the internals are good. The pistons, the rods, this water outlet, the crankshaft. That's the main reason I got the block, is because of the crankshaft. Those crankshafts are hard to come by nowadays. I also have a JDM front. If anybody's interested, I'm not gonna be putting, I bought it because I got it for a really good price a couple of years ago, but I decided I don't want to do it on my car anymore, because unfortunately with the JDM cars coming over, and then everybody and their mothers doing this back when I was younger and I couldn't afford it, Nowadays, it's rarer to have like a 2000 front or a 94 front than to have a JDM front. So it's like, I guess I was gonna do it for like clout points, or I guess at some point I thought it was like cool, but it's like now I look at my front and it's kind of grown on me, so I'm just like, eh. But yeah, so I got both fenders, front bumper, hood. I have the grill piece at home. I didn't want to bring it in here because I didn't want to lose it and I didn't want to break it. The little grill piece that goes like that. And then here I got these. These are the bumper supports if you plan on running one. And then obviously the T-bracket. And then there's the headlights. They could use some polishing, but they're there. So if anybody wants to hit me up, comment or whatever, or follow me on Instagram and DM me, and I'll message you privately what I'm asking. This thing. If you're a long-time subscriber of the channel, or you're a long-time friend, you know whose car this is. I finally have a little bit more free time, so I've been coming over here and kind of just focusing on this thing, been working on this thing. I got it to start, so it is running again, and yeah, we plan on doing a lot more work to it and getting this thing going. I got the wastegate here. I got to look for the fire ring and the dump tube and everything that I built. Get that together, and then for now we're gonna be putting that downpipe on. But eventually, I do have these 3-inch. I have some like 3-inch pieces here, some one there, long tube over there. I do want to change this out to 3-inch. I mean, that'll work for now, but as far as making power, it's going to restrict the turbo. So I want to go ahead and change that out to 3-inch. And yeah, after that, we just have to fabricate some intercooler piping. I need to put the bumper on here and see how this intercooler is going to end up, because looking at it now with the 2000 front bumper, that's probably going to end up too low. So, but we'll have to get the bumper on there and see what's going on with it. So I don't want to take too much time. I just want to let you guys know we are going to hop back on this car. I do have one more video of old content that I'm going to upload. And my phone stopped recording right then and there. So like I was saying, we're going to have more content that we're going to upload. For those of you that are new, make sure you subscribe and like if you like the content. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified of any future content. And yeah, I'm working on editing all the old content as soon as possible, so I should have that out shortly behind this video. And we are going to be recording new content as well as soon as I get back to the shop and start working on this car, as well as with the other projects, and I'll keep you posted on that basically as soon as we get to work on it. So yeah, but yeah, so with that being said, see you on the next one.
We got it next. That's how you finesse. We come for that.